Welcome to the Performance Enhancing Podcast. It's like steroids for your brain. A podcast for people that want the best info, but just don't have the time. Get your podcast fix with the Cliff Notes versions of your favorite podcasts. No fluff, just the actionable golden nuggets. Having this much knowledge at your fingertips should be downright illegal. So get ready for another dose of Performance Enhancing Podcast with Satori Prime. Here's your host, Ilan Ferdman.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another Performance Enhancing Podcast with your host, Ilan Ferdman of Satori Prime. So today I want to kind of switch gears, talk a little bit about marketing, Facebook, things of that nature, because we recently have gone through this process of doing a lot of interesting things with both clients and students around Facebook, and certain conversations have come up over and over and over, and I figured a lot of you listening are probably in that, Facebook marketing world. So I thought I'd just share a couple of things about marketing in general and then specifically about Facebook. So let me just start by saying this. If you don't know, myself, my brother Guy, and our partner Jason run two different mastermind groups. One for people who are just kind of starting or beginner, advanced beginners to, I'd say, intermediate Facebook marketers. So more of like we call it Facebook Kickstarter. It's more to really get you started and actually doing the right thing so you're not flushing money down the toilet. The other is called Facebook Tribe. That's a more elite group of people, not elite, but a more advanced group of people, I should say, that have larger budgets, have been around Facebook, are either not getting consistent results and don't know why, or are looking to scale their business and need to figure out how to do that. So the kind of two different camps. And what's interesting is, regardless of where people come in, I've noticed that people have kind of similar conversations. So there's two things that I want to cover today. I want to talk about how you build brand you, or you Inc., or however you want to call that, okay? And I want to talk about the fears that people have around doing that and going out there and sometimes doing the work. So let's talk about first with brand you, right? Like, most people come, and you don't have to do this. I just want to put that out there. You don't have to build brand you. Having said that, though, I will tell you that after you going through this process, so Guy and I are probably in this for about 3.5 years. I'd say Jason's probably pushing around 5 years about now. What ends up happening, and it's funny because I've spoken to so many people that have started their own businesses, and everyone says somewhere between year 3 to 4, what happens is you're working, you're struggling. All of a sudden you get to year 3, things start making sense, and somewhere in between 3 and 4, your growth curve goes from like this to just like this. Literally vertical. And what happens is, all of a sudden, you go from not being known and no one even knowing who you are and what your name is, whatever, to having so much social proof and so much credibility that all of a sudden everyone is seeking you out. And luckily for us and Jason, that's kind of where we're at right now at the same exact moment. And it's a really almost surreal experience, because you get on the phone with people and they kind of treat you almost like a mini celebrity. And in my world, I just keep thinking, I'm still the same Ilan. Like, why are they talking? It's really incredible. But that comes from doing consistent work over a long period of time. Now, here's what I want to say about that. You don't have to build brand you. You could just be an affiliate marketer. And if you learn how to put the right people in front of the right offer that actually converts into sales, you can do that for eternity. And that's actually the skill set that we teach people in the masterminds. We teach them the process that we take our clients through. The same exact steps that we do for our client work, we teach them so that they can do that for their own products, other people's products, or help others do the same. And once you understand that process, it's a rinse and repeat process. Do you get better at it? Absolutely. When people first start the course, it's the first time they're going through the process. Everything, like we spoke about, the student, practitioner, master, everything is a little awkward. Everything, they feel dumb or overwhelmed or whatever it is. But we've now done this process probably like 150 times, maybe even more. You know, it gets kind of intuitive. It gets like breathing after a while. So once you learn that process, you can finally do things correct and build a business the right way using Facebook marketing. But while you're doing that, my recommendation is that you actually do build your own brand. Why? Why would you build your own brand? Because like I said, eventually people are going to start seeking you out. Eventually people are going to look to see who is this person X doing all this great stuff. And if you do that work, even though it might not be producing results for you at that moment, it's basically, I want you to think about it this way. It's like planting seeds now that those trees in 3 to 4 years are going to bloom like you cannot believe. And you're going to look back and go, oh my God, thank God I did this. Now, Guy and I actually got a late start around these type of things. The reason we got a late start is because we just didn't believe in blogging. We thought, hey, we'll just run paid traffic and do all that stuff. So we only started really blogging, if you follow us, probably about a year and a half ago. And I'll tell you, maybe because of this podcast, maybe because of the consistent action that we've taken with blogging, maybe just the fact that we've been in the industry so long and people are naturally seeking us out. But between July to August, our clicks on our website quintupled, almost sixfold over that time. We went from about 5,000 hits a month to 31,000 hits in August. That's a monumental jump all of a sudden, right? And that's what I'm talking about, if you actually do that work. So let's talk a little bit about how to do that, because this is where the fear comes in. And this is a conversation that we had yesterday on the mastermind. And I just thought, you know what? This is a really powerful conversation that I think other people need to hear. Every one of us has rules and stipulations about how we can present ourselves, how we need to be perceived in this quote-unquote online world, okay? And what most people do is they'll follow, people like Guy or myself or Jason or, a Frank Kern or a Ryan Dice or all these people kind of in that world, right? And you try to model yourself after us, but you're not us. Just like I'm not Ryan Dice or I'm not Frank Kern, I can try to mimic what Frank Kern does, but what Frank Kern does only works because he's freaking Frank Kern. What I do only works for me because that's the way I do things. So I want to give you a couple of pointers here. One, I said this analogy the other day, people were cracking up. So think about how most people operate online. Okay? And if you've ever seen those like BuzzFeed videos where it's like guys doing girls things or girls doing guys things, they kind of like switch the roles, right? So it's like girls talking all about sports and guys trying to be like the girly girls, and it's really funny. So I want you to kind of imagine that scenario, and imagine that the way people operate online is the way that they go and meet friends and try to build relationships in a bar or a restaurant or a networking event. Okay? So here's the picture I want to paint for you. Say you were to What do most people do online? They put up ads and they're like, buy my shit. Buy my shit. Why haven't you bought my shit? Have you looked at my shit? It's amazing shit. Please buy my shit. Right? Over and over and over. Now, for the longest time, we've been saying that the only way to build a business online is to do what? Build relationships. And you do that by giving good value and goodwill to people. That builds relationship, that builds trust, and that builds credibility. And then, and only then, will that person ever come to you for some sort of recommendation on what they should buy. Most people don't do it that way, right? Like, think about this. When you attracted your group of friends, right? You were probably, in school or in work or whatever. Was it a natural conversation? Was it very, pleasant? Like, how are you? You got to learn about them a little bit. You shared some stories, right? Then there was some sort of rapport. Then you maybe made a recommendation to a restaurant to them, and then they keep coming back to you for recommendations to other restaurants or books or movies, etc., right? Now, put it Let's paint that scenario. So I want you to understand how crazy this is, the way that people do it online. Imagine that you walk into a bar and you're trying to make a friend, and what you do is like, hey, have you heard about my business? It's a great business. Do you want to join my business? Why don't you want to join my business? Have you seen this? Let me show you this. This is the compensation plan. This is why this product is so good. Do you want to join my business? Are you kidding me? You're like the flower lady that comes into a restaurant, is like trying to sell everyone flowers, and you're like, oh, get away from me, you stupid flower lady, right? Don't want flowers. That's the way you operate online, most of you. Does that make sense? Like, that's crazy. So here's the thing that I want you to put you at ease. Most people's fear is, well, I don't have results. I don't know how to share myself. I'm afraid to be on video. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can contribute, etc. Right? A lot of those different variations. When you connect with your friends, is there something that they look to you for in that relationship? Is there something that you bring to your friends that comes very naturally to you? That's where you want to start looking. That's your gift. That's the thing that you're good at. That's the reason your friends love you for who you are. Do you pretend to be someone with your friends that you're not? Do you walk into your friend circle and pretend to be Ilan Ferdman from Satori Prime or Frank Kern or Ryan Dice? Absolutely not. That would be insane. They'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But you try to do that online. Can you see that? What people find amazing about you is what makes you, is when you're vulnerable, is what makes you real. It's you. They like you. The only thing that Facebook marketing and online marketing allows you to do is actually take you, the real you, not some bullshit made up version of you, but the real you, and bring it out to the masses. So think about this. If your circle of friends is say 15, 20, 50, 100 people, okay? They're your circle of friends because A, at some point they lived around you, probably you had a connection, probably some moved in different places. Now you have friends from work and friends at the gym and friends at church or synagogue or whatever, right? Like you have all these little pockets of friends. But did you ever try to like pitch them something when you first met them? Or were you building a relationship? Were you just sharing yourself, being funny or witty or informative or helpful or generous or whatever it is, right? Is that how you necessarily, like most likely built your core group of friends? Now think about this. All you're doing is taking you the exact way that you are right now and plugging yourself out into this world. So instead of a 15, 20, 30 mile radius where your circle of friends are, you can now expand to the world. You can now be in front of, there's probably 2 billion people online today. You can be in front of them. Do you think that out of 2 billion people, you can find a few more friends that will actually like you for exactly the way you are? Not some made up wannabe version, but they just appreciate your perspective on life. They appreciate the way that you see things and how you can share certain life lessons or input or tips or anything. Now, isn't that much easier than trying to create a persona that isn't even you? I said this on the mastermind yesterday, like, I'm shocked at times that people ever listen to Guy and I. We're so rough around the edges. I've probably cursed like 70,000 times on this single podcast alone, and yet people come here and listen. Why? Because I'm not trying to sound like an asshole here, but I don't care if people like me. I've given that up a long time ago. I know that the only thing that I can be is be me. And I know that those that resonate with my perspective and my message and the way that I explain things will listen. They will find ways to be around me and work with me. And I know that those that don't, that maybe a curse word puts them off or whatever, they're just not going to. Do I beat myself up over the head because I have to appeal to everyone? Heck no. At the end of the day, this is the only way I know how to be. So if you and I are going to be at a bar hanging out, this is exactly who you're going to see. Not some video persona that I turn on and then when this thing goes off, like I turn into something else. This is me. So at the bar, if I can't be like this with you, if I can't curse here and there, if I can't wave my flailing hands all over the place, right? We're not going to get along. You get that? So why would I put the effort to try to convert someone to be around me who, in essence, is just going to be more work, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be like, I don't really want to be around you, go away. That's the way most people operate, though, is they think like, I need to appeal to everyone. No. If you find 1,000 people in the entire world, 1,000 people that are fanatic about you, your message, your business, you will be a 7-figure earner. I guarantee it. 1,000 fanatic people and you will be a 7-figure earner. That means 1,000 people will pay you $1,000 on average a year and you're a millionaire. You get that? 1,000. Could you find 1,000 people in the entire world that could listen to your perspective, get value from you, and come to you for certain recommendations about their life or their business? Could you do that? Is that much easier than trying to be something that you're absolutely not? So can you take all that weight off and just be imperfect? Just be who you are. Be vulnerable with people. Be honest with people. Share where you suck. Share where you're great. Share what's working. Share what's not working. That's all people care about. And if you want to then take that message and blow it up in the world, then I personally suggest Facebook marketing, because that's obviously how we've been successful and gotten our message out. But before you get to that level, right? Like, yes, you can do that and use other people's products, right? But you're building your own business, and that business is you. That brand is you, brand you, right? You Inc. So yes, paid marketing is going to get your results much faster. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it. And at the same time, please don't do what we did. Don't mess up by waiting so long to get the blog up and the content up and the YouTube channel up and all that kind of stuff, because over time, that stuff will turn to gold for you. And will it suck at first, your content? Absolutely. Go look at any one of my first videos. You will laugh your ass off. And here's the best part. I actually thought they were fantastic. Now I watch them, I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? That was the worst. But that doesn't matter, because if I didn't do all of that, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to be this real, this raw, this, all of me in front of you guys right now. Wow, if you guys are listening to this on audio and not watching this on video, you're missing like a arm flailing fiasco right now. The point is, I just want to give you freedom around being you. Because you, when you get to you, the real you, the no bullshit, I'm not hiding anything, I don't have to cover myself in makeup to look good for you. I didn't even do my hair today. This is literally how I woke up, okay? When you can get to that level, that's when people will connect with you the most. When you can share the ugly side of you and still make it valuable for other people to see. So if you listen to some of my other podcasts, you'll know that I talked about my house being foreclosed on. I talked about having no money. I talked, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to perfect. All I'm trying to do is be better today than I was yesterday. And I've found a way, hopefully, to deliver that message to people so that inspires people. It moves people to do things that they didn't think were possible. Our mission, Satori Prime's mission, is to break down the walls to what you believe is possible in your life. So if every time I can just break down or at least chip a hole in one of those walls so you can kind of peek through that hole and see that there's this whole other life on the other side that you never even thought possible, we've done our job. We've done our job. And as my brother said, by 2020, our goal is to impact 100 million people. So we have a long freaking way to go. Do I know how I'm going to do that? No clue. No clue. But you know what? That is a game worth playing. So thanks again for listening. Love you guys. Hopefully, this resonates with you and you can start being the real version of you. If you guys want to post videos on our Facebook page, on Satori Prime, and share the real you, share your story, by all means, go for it. Would love to hear from you guys about this. And again, if this resonated with you, head over to iTunes, leave us a review, and let me know what you took from this episode. Let me know what you're going to do with this information that's going to make a profound impact in your life and in your business. And until we speak again on the next Performance Enhancing Podcast, have an amazing, amazing day, my friends. Love you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Performance Enhancing Podcast. We've taken this pep talk and created a custom action guide so you know exactly what action steps to take now to grow your business. Just head over to satoriprime.com/podcast and download it for free. Also, please leave a comment and rate this podcast on iTunes. It'll help us get the word out. Thanks for listening. Now, go and implement. We'll see you next time. Welcome to the Performance Enhancing Podcast. It's like steroids for your brain. A podcast for people that want the best info, but just don't have the time. Get your podcast fix with the Cliff Notes versions of your favorite podcasts. No fluff, just the actionable golden nuggets. Having this much knowledge at your fingertips should be downright illegal. So get ready for another dose of Performance Enhancing Podcast with Satori Prime. Here's your host, Ilan Ferdman.